Hello and welcome to Reality Recapped, where I recap all of the trashiest reality shows. If you're new here, my name is Heather. I have a degree in psychology, and it's through that lens that I watch these shows and make my comments. Of course, I have not met with any of the people on the show, so my comments are simply opinions. This channel is a little bit of education and a whole lot of snark. Happy New Year to you. I hope this new year brings peace, happiness, and a lot of joy. My cute little dog made it through all the fireworks, so until 4th of July, we're good. And now on to part 2 of Sister Wives, the one-on-one tell-all, where they tell nothing at all.
Probably upset Christine there, and one thing led to another, and then I'm talking about reconciling with Mary, that Christine went, I can't do that.
So we're picking up where the last tell-all left off, of Kody stating that Christine somehow thwarted him and Mary's reconciliation. It's a pretty classic move for a narcissist to smear anyone who has broken up with them, and it can get incredibly nasty. So this isn't surprising. I'm not buying this story of Kody's that somehow Christine, who isn't in charge of all of the relationships, somehow had control over him in this instance. It just doesn't wash. It just doesn't make sense. But this is very smart, because what are we talking about right now? We're talking about his accusations against Christine. What aren't we talking about here? Kody and Kody's responsibility in all of these relationships and how they've all been fractured. So this, even though this is frustrating to be on the receiving end of, like, can you imagine being on a national stage and having someone making up lies about your behavior? But defending it just continues the conversation about what he's trying to get everyone to talk about. By just going, yeah, that's not me, I didn't do that, and not going further with it, it stops the conversation. Really hard to do, but I think that's probably the best way to handle it. Yeah, I didn't do that, that's not accurate, and don't go into it any further. Can we get the focus back on Kody now? Can we get the focus back on the common denominator for all of these marriages dissolving?
I think it was a moment that he wanted to.
It's a little heartbreaking to me.
Because
of the fact that he could have given us a chance.
I have a hard time with Mary. I think she's been kind of mean in the past. I think she isn't able to be really honest about her emotions, and she laughs a lot when she talks about really serious things. I'm kind of wanting to do a deep dive on Mary, because I noticed earlier on that the way she found her power in the relationship was by not making a decision. You see that with the land, and it was just fascinating to watch her do that. But I also feel bad for her in this moment, because it's so clear that Kody, who only cares about destroying Christine, isn't considering how this lie that he's making up about wanting to reconcile with Mary and how Christine thwarted that, how that's going to affect Mary. And I do feel bad for her about that. Also, Kody, Christine's gone. Now you can reunite with Mary, now that Christine won't ruin it for you. So now we're moving on to a flashback of the family in happier times. Over the holidays, I went back and watched some past episodes, and I have to tell you, it was really sad to see how happy they used to be and how their family has kind of gotten separated and destroyed. It's really, really sad. I think Kody has always had narcissistic traits, but I think at this time he was happy. He was getting a lot of attention from being on the show. He wasn't having the wives make a firm stance on how his behavior wasn't fair across the board. And it's just sad to see a family and know that where they are now, because it's such a different picture now. I mean, Kody physically looks different. It's shocking.
And it was a hard relationship from the very beginning. It was like Janelle, it diluted this relationship I had with Mary.
very caustic in some way.
Absolutely.
Kody goes on to say that he's in an established relationship with somebody that he doesn't even get along with, and then he brings a third party into it.
It seems like when you first got married, there was a lot there between you guys.
We really did struggle. Detergent should
Yeah.
we use?
Yeah.
Did you put oranges in the fridge or not? Stuff, blow. And Mary's really direct, and I didn't know how to deal. Whoa, it was like almost offensive to me.
The same kitchen, what time we cook, what we cook, if we didn't clean up well enough. Everything had to be perfect. I never knew if she was mad or not mad. And the stress was so much. It took me over the edge, and I'm like, I'm done with you.
It sounds like Mary has a few issues with control and perfectionism, and that would be really hard to manage in a household with a shared kitchen and someone constantly reminding you you're not doing things correctly. That would get very old very quickly.
Nell moved out. She was done.
Wow. She left?
Yeah, she moved
left.
in with her mother. I didn't feel like she was leaving me, but she was leaving them. I was giving her enough support.
I remember this being kind of hinted at, but not really gone into depth. And I still, after this recollection of events, still feel very confused by what actually happened.
See, I think Kody remembers it in a way that works for him to remember it. That's not how I remember it. He is looking to blame. There was always conflict. Yes, there was conflict, but there were really good times too.
Janelle goes on to say that she had just started a really great life in Wyoming and she didn't want to leave it. But she did. She ended up moving down when Kody got, I think, the house in Lehigh.
I felt a lot of pressure. Christine was royalty in our church. Oh, this will make me cool in our church. And
So
type
was
of
your
thing.
ego.
Oh, I was a polygamist. It's all ego, baby.
Ugh, he's so gross. Suki. Her name is Suki. She's a professional. Maybe treat her like a professional. This is your workplace. Suki brings up when Kody blew up, when Christine was announcing she was leaving.
It wasn't about the family, it was about the man. I'm angry that you weren't willing to invest in the family, me as a resource for you. Brokenhearted about my family, this breakup.
So I've seen Kody do this with taking her tagline that was for the show. It was never just about the man, I wanted the family, and use it against her. And Mary also does this. I don't know that I've seen Robyn do it or not. I will have to pay attention to that. But again, Christine leaving doesn't destroy the whole family. Christine leaving doesn't destroy his relationship with his son. He did that, but he doesn't acknowledge any of that. He never acknowledges his part, and that's part of his inability because of his low self-esteem to actually be introspective and actually look at his behavior and see where he went wrong. And it's unfortunate because if you can't identify where you're going wrong, you can't correct it to make things right.
And the sacrifices that I made to love you.
This feels performative, both of them, Robyn crying and Kody yelling. It just feels like they're acting. There's something that feels very condescending about the way he's explaining this and yelling. It feels like he's saying, like, I'm so much higher up than you are, and I'm asking you for these things and you can't even give them to me. And it's like the connotation is that she's somehow really far beneath him because he's such a great guy and she's just not willing to do like the basic minimum, which when you think about the whole relationship and how everything went and everything that Christine did and the very little that Robyn did and Kody did, it just feels so unfair to Christine.
I didn't try to
I
get back
don't
anything.
get that.
I wish that Suki had asked Kody, what is he talking about? What do you mean you don't get that one of your sister wives is comforting another one of your sister wives after being yelled and screamed at by a man who's jumping up and down and being intimidating toward her?
I wasn't mean. I wasn't mean to anybody. Mary said I didn't know I'm doing those things. I didn't try to do anything like that.
Christine talked Janelle and Mary for 2 years to me that she mistreated you.
Christine said that they both did that.
If I was frustrated with someone, I would be like, oh, they did this, and it's very frustrating.
About
He
the
would
other wives,
complain
too?
about the other wives, too. Not Robyn, complain about Robyn.
Yeah.
Not a great idea to vent to your husband about the other wives. Not a great idea for your husband to vent to you about the other wives. But I also understand it. We've all been in work situations and you're just so annoyed by a coworker. And so you go to another coworker and maybe you vent. And man, that always ends up biting you in the end, doesn't it? Don't do that. Hire a therapist and tell them all the horrible things that your coworkers do. They're microwaving fish in the break room. They talk too loud on the phone. What other things do they do?
I've seen Christine being yelled at like that.
You know, there's nuances like Kody, like, I made so many sacrifices to love you. Well, first of all, that should be a warning, right? That's not healthy. Framing it around we're a bad sister wife. According to what perspective? If you only see that she was a bad sister wife to one person, like if you're really married to both women, you're going to see both sides. Nobody's ever innocent.
Yeah.
She was this angel who came in, and I'm sorry, she's human. She's not this perfect saintly person.
Janelle does such a good job of summarizing what's been said and what's wrong with it without attacking. Like, notice she just said she's just a human. She's just a person. She's not perfect. She didn't go after Robyn, and I really respect that a lot. That's hard to do when you're feeling hurt.
He's a little bit myopic when it comes to Robyn, her hurts and her perspective and her experience in this versus everybody anybody else's.
Again, notice she's not blaming Robyn for this. She's just stating this is how Kody is behaving. I really appreciate that. That is so hard to navigate.
I used to try to vent to him, and he'd be like, I can't take your side again in this. But he's obviously taking a side now.
Now with Christine, I've seen her, just be a little bit challenged with the Robyn coming in and him caring about her so much.
What Mary isn't saying that I wish she would is the preferential treatment that Robyn was getting. The extra attention, the extra time, the extra money, the extra what have you. Robyn was benefiting very differently than any of the other women. Why is that not being said out loud?
So I was like, Robyn, you stop groveling because Christine's never going to love you. And she hasn't loved these two, and she made the agreement she would when she came in the family.
It's more of he was a sounding board. I didn't think that I was being mean, put up boundaries. If someone's not safe, yes, but that's not mean.
Again, I want to point out the best defense is a strong offense, right? So Kody is throwing out all of these things about Christine. And so what ends up happening? She ends up defending herself in the tell-all. And what aren't we asking? We're not asking Kody about if he prefers Robyn over everybody else, why she gets more treatment, why she has more finances and more assets than any other wife. We're not asking why he spends his time disproportionately with her. We're not focusing on him. We're allowing him to take the argument off of him and putting it on Christine. The blame is being shifted. And when Suki tries to broach this line of questioning, look at how he responds to her and how intimidating that would be to be sitting next to somebody who's holding a hot beverage and growling.
God, that'll start just pissing me off. We can discuss that another time.
Okay. Is it just that it doesn't work anymore for her? And it has nothing to do with you, Kody.
The thing is, with narcissism, you think everything's about you because the whole world is about you. So I don't know that his brain can go there. And honestly, it is about him. He treated them unfairly, and Christine got sick of it and left. So it is about him.
Listen, I'm not a fit here. I got to move on.
That you can accept.
Yeah, but what she's actually doing is broke my baby's heart. I don't respect him. Coward. I don't respect him. Picks favorites. I don't respect him. Just name it. She's been talking. But to assuage her guilt, she has blamed me for everything.
Wow, pot, meat, kettle. It almost sounds like Christine fell out of love with you because of how you treated her. Shocking. Where have I heard that before?
Those relationships have been pulled away from me, including, and this is the one I don't understand, Janelle. But she's trying to assuage her guilt by saying, I'm a bad man. And I get it. She needs to do that so she can find another man who will trust her. Because if she leaves a good man, most guys are going to go, this is risky.
Kody is hyper-focused on the fact that Christine is going to find another person. He always brings this up, him and Robyn both. The conversation moves into Christine's celebrity crushes, who she likes, who she's attracted to. And honestly, this conversation just makes me cringe a little bit. I think it's important to recognize that you don't have to find a spouse to complete you. You can give yourself the kind of love that you're seeking. It's fantastic if you find someone amazing. But we have just watched Christine spend what period of time? 30? Is it 30 years? 28 years? 22 years of her life with someone who didn't treat her or respect her or show her the kind of love that she deserved. And I think that is worse than being by yourself. So I really, and just the whole celebrity crush thing, like why, I don't know. It's not my thing. I'm also not into orgs or video games, but that's just me, guys. That's just me.
Warrior, but he's looking at his wife with so much love and so much, and he would do anything for her. And I just want that kind of love, Suki.
I mean, I guess if you've been living with Kody, this guy's looking pretty good. And I get what she's saying, that it's someone who is really devoted to their spouse. And that's fantastic. I hope she finds it. Good luck to you, Christine. You will be okay even if you don't find another spouse. You might actually end up happier.
Before I even fell in love with Kody, I fell in love with the family and the family culture.
Do you guys remember that she was actually a secret between Kody and Mary and her, and none of the other family actually knew that he was even dating somebody or speaking to somebody? So how did she fall in love with the family before she fell in love with Kody if she was dating Kody much sooner than the family was aware of? I call BS, Robyn. And get ready because we're going to have another non-crying crying session. Look closely for tears. Don't worry, there won't be any.
It's something that I am like mourning all the time because they took it away. They took it away from me. Excuse me.
Does it feel unfair?
Yeah, it does. It feels really unfair. Sorry, I get so embarrassed when I get.
Can't get tears to come out? We know, girl, we've been watching.
I would have never chose this. Like I said, if I had power that everybody thinks I had, this wouldn't be happening. When he does something they don't like, I get blamed.
Why is that?
Is it because of how differently you got treated? I think I know the answer to this one. Let me help you out here, Robyn.
I don't fight. It's not my nature to fight. It's just I am more heart.
Oh my gosh, so she's painted herself as the victim because she gets blamed. And the reason why she thinks they're going after her is because she has so much heart. This is just insane PR work. Like, insane. She's telling everybody she has so much heart, and that's why they go. Oh my God. Just hard eye roll. Hard eye roll. Still no tears.
What is your relationship? How do you describe your relationship with Robyn? Do I have time?
No, I'm not going to talk about her.
You do know you're on a reality show, and you do get thousands and thousands of dollars for being on said reality show. And so this is kind of part of your job.
Play the clip and then you can react to it?
Sure, maybe.
Oh my gosh, he's like smirking. See how powerful I am? I don't even have to answer your question. What a jerk. That wraps up this episode, Tell All Part 2 for the week. I hope you have a wonderful week. It's always hard to go back to work and school and all the fun responsibilities of life after a long vacation, but I hope you ease into it. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.